Yo, what is up, everyone? Welcome to a very, very, very special edition of the Renegade Roundtable podcast here. I am Jeffrey Kirby. We got Jared. Jared, how the hell are you?
Very alright. It's a good, better week. Happy Thursday, happy Friday to you guys.
And, why do you ask? So you may be wondering, well, Jeff, why is this a very, very, very special episode? Well, based on the fact that I'm actually wearing a jersey, means only one thing. Football is back, baby. Football is back. First actual day of camp for us on Thursday. As we're recording this, first day of camp is over with. It is, they say, we just had Christmas in July a couple days ago.
Yeah.
They always say that, there's that song, it's the most wonderful time of the year, and we're talking about Christmas. Nah. This is the best time of the year. This is right now. From this moment on, all the way to the Super Bowl, this whole entire time is the best moment of the year. Because football is back.
Almost there, man. September 10th.
We are, let's see, I actually have a countdown timer going on my phone.
It's
44 days until week 1, 42 days until me and Jared will be in Pittsburgh. Well, I'll be in Pittsburgh one time before that. I'll be actually in Pittsburgh August 8th for another Pirates game against the Atlanta Braves. EB. Which, real quick, we'll talk about 2 minutes of Pirates here. There was a trade today. Carlos Santana getting traded to the Milwaukee Brewers, which was a little bit surprising at the fact that they traded within division. But Carlos Santana on his way to Milwaukee for, I forget his name, it was a shortstop prospect. So just a little bit of news there. It's a little weird, but I mean, you figured at the end of, there was going to be some pieces that were going to get dealt at the deadline, and he's the first one. So we shall see who will continue to get dealt for the Pirates. But we don't care about that. We're here for football. We're here for the Pittsburgh Steelers because it's football. Get Renegade ready to go. Which, by the way, speaking of Renegade, I got to ask you, what are your thoughts on Renegade? Because it's weird how over the last 2 years that's become such like a controversial topic between Pittsburgh fans.
It's a good song. It's a good song. I like it.
Do you want for them to play it at Acrisure Stadium, or?
I'm fine with it. Either way, we could use it if it's something new. If they want something new, I'm fine with it either. I'm just in the middle, Renegade gets me hyped.
Okay.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm the guy that doesn't care. I'm gonna get hyped no matter what when that song plays or not.
Yeah, I'm one of those people where I like a Renegade, keep it, and the people who don't want to keep it are just weirdos to me. My opinion, but you know what? That's a different story for a different day. All right, let's talk about camp. So, obviously, for people that are watching, we're going to be going into day 2. For me and Jared, we wrapped up day 1 today for us. This is an unusual camp compared to what we've dealt with for most of the last few years, going back to maybe even 2017. There's no hold-ins. There's no hold-outs. There's no contract disputes. Everyone came in healthy. No one is on the injured list or the PUP list. So this is there's no big headlines with the Steelers either. This is a very, very weird training camp going into this for the Pittsburgh Steelers. going back to last year, you dealt with the Deontay Johnson. The year before that, you were dealing with it. Well, and I think Minka got signed before. I forgot, so never mind. But the year before that, you had to deal with TJ and his contract situation. The year before that, you dealt with Ben Roethlisberger recovering from his elbow. The year before that, you were dealing with the Antonio Brown stuff. And then the previous 2 years prior to that, you were dealing with the Le'Veon Bell stuff. So every single training camp going back to the 2017 season, you've dealt with some sort of big headline or hold in or hold out or contract dispute, whatever it is. This year, you don't deal with that. It's very weird, but it's a good thing, though. It's a very good thing. It's one less distraction you got to deal with, and it means that to start out, you're starting out camp on a positive note. And at this point of time, you'll take every single positive thing you can take.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I am very excited. It's no drama. So I'm happy. No drama.
And then obviously you got the very normal competitions that are going to be going on with the different positions. We're going to be obviously talking about the left tackle position, or we'll just say the tackle position. I actually put this out on Facebook yesterday instead of Twitter. It was actually, yesterday for us, so 2 days ago for the viewers. I put this out there and I said, and I mentioned this last week. I was the position group I was most interested about was that offensive tackle position, because I wanted to see how they handled it, if they're going to handle it like a true competition, or are they going to handle it like kind of how they did with the quarterback position last year. The reason why I'm so interested in it as well, I'm curious to see out of the three between Broderick Jones, Dan Moore, and Chooks. If Chooks plays well, plays well at camp, okay, that's fine. That's his position to keep. If he starts to struggle a little bit, and it seems like there's a new sense of confidence for Dan Moore coming into this camp. If Dan Moore plays well, and Broderick Jones plays well, but Chooks might struggle a little bit, I would be very curious to see if they think, hey, why don't we try to put Dan Moore at right tackle? Let's see what that is like. Because even if it's for the fact of just having more position flexibility for depth purposes, there's nothing wrong with that. But that's something I'm going to be very curious to see going throughout this camp.
Yeah, that's something that's really one of the main headlines, the tackle position. They say Jones has to earn it, which of course, nothing's given to you. We'll see how he does.
Although, what's funny is they say that...
I'm very excited.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, what I was going to say real quick is on...
I was saying... Go ahead, you're good.
Okay, here, I'll say something for half a second. So Omar Khan obviously said today, Broderick Jones, he's going to have to earn it, blah, blah, blah. Seems like some people throughout the media with the weight, with his body language is almost saying, hey, or maybe they're reading too deep into this, or maybe this is just a catch on that they're already catching with Omar Khan. But there was some media members that were saying, hey, this sounds like this might be his position already, and he's going to have to do something catastrophic to lose it. Talking about Broderick Jones. So...
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, but I gotta see. We gotta see what happens. I was saying I'm also very interested to see how this inside linebacker position works out with Landon Roberts and Cole Holcomb. See how they fit with this defense, because it's the weakest part of the defense. Are they going to struggle off the start, or they're starting out hot? Is Mark Robinson going to get the starting spot over one of those two? We'll see.
We'll see. And for me, when you mentioned that linebacker position, and that's a very good position, our position group to watch out for. And someone in the press conference from 2 days, no, it was actually from yesterday for you guys and earlier today for us. Omar Khan was asked about the linebacking core, and he basically said, "Hey, listen, they were team captains." And someone a couple days ago in Mike Tomlin's press conference specifically asked about Cole Holcomb. So that's an interesting position group to watch out for. And obviously with Mark Robinson going into his second year, this is only his maybe third, fourth year playing the linebacker position, so he still has learning to do. But if we saw him make some key, contributions later on in the season last year, so why not? Why can't we not expect? But why can't we think, hey, why can't he make more contributions this year in 2023 and help this linebacker core out for the Steelers? Because if worse comes to worse, it adds a different dynamic, and it also adds just the depth and being able to give guys a breather at times if needed.
Very interested. That's what I'm really interested about. We'll see how they do.
Yeah. A couple things that I noticed throughout camp today, just from people that were there. JPJ, Joey Porter Jr., who did sign his contract a couple days ago, so that got handled, which was weird with how long it took, but it's not weird. Well, it is weird just based on the scenario, because he was technically a second-round pick, but he was the 32nd overall pick, so by pick, he's a first rounder, but, in this draft, he was a second rounder. So, in terms of how, how they're going to distribute out and figure out the guarantees and stuff like that. But obviously that got done. No one was really worried about that at all. You knew that was going to get done. That wasn't going to be anything. Like, Devin Witherspoon from Seattle still hasn't signed, which, from what we're hearing, is. Because obviously we know that the contracts are pretty much stand, so what you're gonna make, but it could be based on how they divvy out the guarantees and the bonuses and blah blah blah. Apparently that is what's going on out in Seattle. But I mean, remember what happened with Joey Bosa in 2016, former Ohio State Buckeye, for the Chargers. So. That's a weird situation. But yeah, with Joey Porter Jr., from what we saw, he was constantly working on his hands. Now, yes, he only had the one interception last year. People only realize, he only had one interception, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's a different story when you're not going to throw the ball to. I mean, Darrelle Revis might only have, 27 career interceptions. Like, that ain't a whole lot. Well, yeah, well, it's also kind of hard to get interceptions when people don't throw your way. So, but apparently he was working a lot on his hands, whether it was catching the football or just playing catch with Terrell Austin, whether it was with the jugs machine, just whatever it was, he was doing a lot to deal with his hands.
For sure. Yeah, I heard Joey Porter Jr. had a good day today for his first day. Hope he keeps it up. It's going to be interesting. Yeah, if they don't throw it his way, it's fine. That means they're afraid. They don't want to test him,
Yeah, and then obviously there was one rep that kind of got highlighted today, was with Joey Porter Jr. and Calvin Austin, which from what we were hearing, Calvin Austin did not have the best of days at camp, but hey, only day one. We're not going to harp over just the first day of camp. It's a long camp. He could have one bad day, and then he could come back tomorrow look like the second coming of whatever, Tyreek Hill. So, you never know. So, I mean, that's just how it is, though. It's the first day of camp. No reason to harp on it. He'll come back tomorrow, figure out some of those mistakes. But there was one rep where Joey Porter Jr. went stride for stride with Calvin Austin, which is nice to see in terms of speed. So that he can hang with some of these faster guys, because we know that Calvin Austin has speed on him. So that was nice to see when it came to Joey Porter Jr. I'm really excited to see what happens with Joey Porter Jr.
Very excited.
Yeah, I'm really, and then
we'll see. I'll see in the preseason. We'll see.
Yeah.
Preseason, I'm excited. I'll watch. At least we'll see how many reps they'll get. See how they'll do.
Yeah, and then on top of that, I'm also going to be curious to see how they handle the slot corner position. There was a couple different guys that were working that slot position today, and then obviously you're going to see a little bit of Patrick Peterson, who will be running a little bit of the slot, which he's run slot in the past. He didn't run any slot corner last year with Minnesota, but he has some experience playing the slot corner. So, and hey, it's nice to being able to have guys move around. We were seeing a lot a lot of guys on that defense were moving around, and that's what you need to have. You need to be able to have guys move around, confuse offenses, confuse quarterbacks, and just being able to have that kind of flexibility within that defense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll see. I'm just excited, man. It's only the first day. This will be a long camp. We'll see how these guys develop, in the play style and the scheme. I'm just very excited.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I actually have a couple clips for everyone that I want everyone to listen to. There was a couple for you guys a couple days ago with Mike Tomlin and also with Kenny Pickett. We'll start out with do you want to start out with Tomlin or do you want to start out with Kenny?
Start with Kenny.
All right, we'll start out with Kenny. So I have two clips for Kenny. One, we're going to label Kenny on the expectations of the offense / having freedom.
What's your expectation for this offense in general?
Just go out there and win. I mean, you can get in expectations of numbers and right. Stuff like that. I just want to go out there and win. So whatever that takes, whatever those numbers look like, that's all I'm focused on.
Kenny, we have more freedom this year, do you think, in terms of input in the game plan, changing plays at the line, any kind of influence maybe you didn't have last year?
Yeah, I think I already have. I think I was part of a good process of adding some things this offseason and during spring taking some things away that that we didn't like and going back and watching the tape. So I feel like I've been a part of those conversations. So. I think definitely when the game plan starts coming around, I'll have an input as well.
All right, so there was Kenny on the expectations of the offense and, just talking about having freedoms. Didn't really say a whole lot. I mean, obviously for us, the expectations of the offense, we would like for them to throw it downfield more. We would like for them to... The expectations of what I would want for the offense... versus my actual expectations of what I think the offense is going to be. What would I like for the offense to be? I'd like for the offense to be able to, I'm not going to say just go out and be balls to the wall risky all the time, but you got to be able to throw the ball downfield. You have to be able to stretch the field out. You have, the short, which we all know the Steelers have been pretty good at throwing short. You have the real deep passes. Where I would really like to see the Steelers focus on this year, is the intermediate routes. I would
middle of the field is what you're saying.
Well, it doesn't have to be middle of the. I mean, yes, I would like for them to incorporate the middle of the field, but I would like for them to actually, just the whole intermediate part of the field. You're able to get chunk plays. But you're not constantly, you're not going to get every 80-yard touchdowns every play. But if you're able to work that 10 to 15, and in those passing situations, you're able to get 10 to 15 yards on a couple of those plays through a drive, that's really going to be important for this team.
Oh, for sure. I expect the play call to be more expanded, is basically more, like I said, more play action. Less screens, please. Wide receiver screens. That is all I ask for. I pray to God.
How about more jet sweeps?
No, we don't need more at all.
Oh boy! And then obviously, in terms of the freedom within the offense, he mentions how he's been a part of those conversations where this is his second, as what Tomlin likes to say, it's his second time around the track. He's had those conversations where he's been able to talk about, okay, this is what I like, this is what I don't like. We can implement and take things away and add things and incorporate with them within the offense. So we need to see more of that. We need to see more of Kenny being able to take control of the offense, being able to see him, hey, I noticed there's a different coverage. when we make a change at the line of scrimmage to this play, because last year he had zero, he was not able to do that. So if he sees that, if it's a cover 2, okay, but their play isn't going to be great for cover 2, why not let him have the ability to go and change it at the line to a different play that would be able to beat that defense a little bit better. Just let him have that freedom, because that is going to be vitally important for Kenny's development and Kenny's growth going into year 2.
Oh, yeah. You better let Kenny make audibles. Let him, if he sees something different, you better let him do what he got to do. Let him cook.
You beat me to it. Let Kenny cook.
Let Kenny cook.
Let Kenny cook. All right. I have another clip for everyone. This is Kenny Pickett on the identity of the offense.
How about in terms of identity? What do you imagine for this offense? You guys obviously had big guys who could run the ball, but how much do you imagine opening it up?
Yeah, we need balance. I think that's the key to success in this league. You can't be one-dimensional. So I'm excited to see what that looks like and push the ball down the field and hand it off to Najee and see what he can do. I know he's been working really hard, so I think we have a really good balanced team this year. That's what I want to see.
Kenny talking about the identity of the offense. There was one particular, 4 words that popped when I heard that, immediately had my brain going. Need to have balance. Why does that make my brain start spinning? 2 reasons. Number 1, it's when we're talking balance, I think what people are talking about is like a 50-50, a 50% run, 50% pass. I don't think Le'Veon Bell, if I'm not mistaken, said something a few years back. And this makes so much sense when you talk about balance within an offense. A great balance within the offense is when you need to run, you have the ability to run. And when you need to pass, you have the ability to pass. By technical terms, yes, you can do both, but can you do it effectively? Can you effectively run the football when you need to, and when you need to get some chunk plays or an explosive play or something like that, can you pass the football as well? Though that, when we talk about balance, is something that needs to be really, to me, in terms of the offense, needs to be a huge emphasis on this offense. When you need the ability to run the football, can you run the football effectively? When you need to make a play through the air, can you make a play through the ball through the air effectively? Last year, it was like there wasn't enough of that. Now I understand. Yes, there was the growing pains of Kenny Pickett being the rookie quarterback. Excuse me, I understand that. But this is year 2. Like you just mentioned, let Kenny cook. You have to be able. There has to be some sort of balance of being able to throw the football when you need to and being able to run the football when you need to.
I very much well agree. I think you said it on the head right here. You just run the ball when it's effective, and can you run it and can you pass the ball effectively? It's all it really takes, because can't mess up a down, because it will affect the next play.
Mm-hmm.
It will affect it.
Real quick, speaking of running the football, in the position that you need to run the football, aka running backs, we talked about this a tiny bit last week in terms of Najee. Well, this week we had a weird development happen with Saquon Barkley, where he signed. It was almost like the franchise tag was like 10 or $10.1 million for a running back.
Yep.
So we were expecting him that he was going to hold out. He was going to get fined $50,000 a day, blah, blah, blah. But he signs a 1-year... So it's an $11 million deal for 1 year. So you did all of that for less than $1 million more a year?
I thought it was more with incentives up to 13, if I'm not mistaken.
So it's like, okay, but even then, that's a little...
Yeah, I know.
And here's what's even weirder about this. What's stopping the Giants from franchise tagging him next year?
Yep.
I
don't know.
was confused about that.
Very, very, and like Najee talked a little bit about that, which
And if you guys want to, like, if for those that like might understand it a little bit better, please drop a comment, or if you want to say I'm stupid, go ahead. But like, drop a comment. Like, if someone explained to me this, that was just bizarre. But the reason why we bring up Najee is Najee talked about it a little bit, and then Omar Khan in his press conference, he got asked about it, and Omar Khan gave the very typical, GM answer about it. But here, it's not happening in Pittsburgh, but it's happening to another AFC team. Do you see what happened with the Indianapolis Colts?
No.
Ooh. So, basically, Jim Irsay, which, we all know how Jim Irsay can be. In fact, I'm about to, I'm going to pull up the phone, or the tweet on my phone here, so I can, quote this correctly. Let me find this tweet here. Blah, 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 blah. Gotta find this tweet. Oh, here we go. So Jim Irsay, the owner of the Colts, said, NFL running back situation. We have negotiated a CBA that took years off effort and hard work and compromise in good faith by both sides. Now, to say that a specific player category wants another negotiation after the fact is inappropriate. Some agents are selling, quote, bad faith. So, who sounds, what I believe it is the representation of Jonathan Taylor, quote, tweets that tweet and says, bad faith is not paying your top offensive player. Ooh-wee, boy.
Stir the pot. Stir the pot.
We used to say, stir up the pot, James Harden. Stir up the pot, Jonathan Taylor.
Jeez, ooh, that's a lot of drama right there. I wonder what Jim Irsay said about that. We'll see what he says about that. That question.
Here's the thing, though, Jonathan. Here's the thing, though, with the running backs. At the end of the day, and Omar Khan mentioned this, and in a way, it makes sense. With the way that you're having to pay quarterbacks, I mean, Justin Herbert just got 5 for 265. So he's going to get paid an absolute shit ton of money. Mm-hmm. Some position has to give. Something has to give. And listen, I'm sorry. There's maybe one. I think, in my opinion, I'd say 2 running backs who you could say, okay, they might be able to. They are unicorns, and they're showing that they can, I think, go longer than what we think in terms of running backs. There's 2.
Is that McCaffrey and Derrick Henry?
One of them is correct, is Derrick Henry.
Mm.
The other is Nick Chubb.
Oh, Nick Chubb. Okay.
Nick Chubb and Derrick Henry are the 2. I mean, they've been workhorse backs. Now, people could say, "Oh, the Browns had Kareem Hunt." They barely used Kareem Hunt. You should have listened to Cleveland radio all throughout the season last year and years prior. They were bitching and complaining about let me not say bitching and complaining. It was honestly rightfully so. I'd probably be the same way. There was like, why the hell is Kareem Hunt not playing more? Blah blah blah. You know that you have 2 dynamic running backs. Why are you not using one of them? Blah blah blah. Those 2 right there are, I think, the exception to the rule. Other than that, I as much as I would love to see, I want to see all these players get paid.
Oh yeah.
But at the end of the day, let's be honest, if I'm an owner, I'm probably doing the same thing. Look at the Steelers. Look at the Steelers. You drafted a running back in the first round of Najee Harris in 21.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, you had Jaylen Warren, who was an undrafted free agent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when he had his opportunities, he was pretty damn good for you.
Mm-hmm.
It happens. Tyler Algier for the Falcons is like a 5th or 6th round pick for him last year. Did pretty damn well for him. It happens. These guys are truly, in my opinion, they are truly replaceable. Mm-hmm. Outside of the two, there are great running backs. Josh Jacobs last year was phenomenal. Jonathan Taylor, when he's healthy, is phenomenal. Alvin Kamara, when he's not getting himself in trouble, is pretty damn good. Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey, and there might be some others that I'm missing, but at the end of the day, it's
it's something that has to give. You already said it right there, and that it has to be something. It is what it is.
It is.
Joe Burrow's contract's going to be next soon. You think Joe Mixon? He takes a pay. He's been taking pay cuts.
Well, speaking of Joe Burrow, real quick, I do want to say now, as of this particular moment, it is 8:12 Eastern on Thursday as we're recording this. So if you guys are watching this and there's new information on Joe Burrow and his injury, then we do not know about it as of yet. Mm-hmm. But I do want to say, hoping that everything is all right with him. He got carted off. They were saying it's a calf injury. You hope that it's just a calf strain and not, because have you watched the video?
Yep. Yeah, it was pretty. It was not an injury.
You saw that. You see non-contact.
Scary.
We had a feeling it's like, oh boy, is this an Achilles?
Mm-hmm.
And as someone who is currently dealing with an Achilles injury as we speak, and nowhere near, not anything like torn or anything. Well, I'm dealing with that, and it's not even nowhere near as significant as a torn Achilles. And this has been a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
I can only imagine. You just hope that everything's all right with him. Hope that it's just a strain, that he'll be out for a couple weeks, and he'll be ready to go. Because as much as we hate the Cincinnati Bengals, he is. There is a lot of people that hate him, which is weird. I really like Joe Burrow a lot, and also for those weirdos who were happy that he was hurt, don't be that guy or don't be that woman. Don't do that. That's just asking karma. That's just having karma waiting on your ass.
And I want the best competition. I don't want no excuses, personally.
And so, you just hope nothing but the best for him. Hope that he's good. Same with Jalen Ramsey. They're saying that it's not a torn Achilles or torn ACL or anything, but they're saying it is meniscus, that he's going to have surgery, well, technically today, or sometime today, for Jalen Ramsey. So he's going to miss some time in the regular season for the Miami Dolphins. So hope that those guys are hope nothing but the best for both of them. But back to the regular schedule program, talk about running backs. Yeah, at the end of the day, you have to give something, and unless you are one of those guys, one of the exception to the rules, one of those two, maybe you could add in a third. I'm sorry, I'm not paying running backs. Unless you want to give them a very undervalued deal. I understand why the running backs are mad. I understand it completely. But looking at it from a business side, makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Totally agree. Can't disagree.
All right. Let's get to a couple Tomlin quotes. So, Tomlin spoke on Wednesday in his basically introduction to the training camp press conference. And there was a couple quotes in there that I thought that was very interesting. One of them was what he wants to see within the offense. So let's go take a listen to this.
Mike, where would you like to see this offense evolve under year 2 with Kenny?
That's a complex question, to be quite honest with you, man. We got to maintain possession of the ball. We got to maintain, a scoring pace. We got to be well balanced. We got to utilize our eligibles and their talents. We got to protect our quarterback. There's a lot of layers to that discussion, but that's why we're here. As far as Kenny goes specifically, man, this is the second lap around the track for him, like it is all our second-year players. So I think it's reasonable for them to to proceed with that knowing, and that knowing to be displayed in their production and the consistency of their play. And so he's no different than any other second-year player in that regard. It's just that he's our quarterback.
There were definitely some interesting parts about that quote. And basically, I narrowed it down to, obviously maintaining possession of the ball, maintaining scoring pace, having a well-balanced offense, and protecting the quarterback. Let's discuss those 4 topics there within that quote. Maintaining possession of the ball. And, well, actually, we're going to kind of tie in that with maintaining scoring pace, a.k.a. another way of saying maintain time of possession. Mm-hmm. So time of possession, that's exactly what they were wanting to do last year. Be very conservative. If you can win the time of possession battle, that's less chance for the opposing offense to be out there to score, and you're controlling the clock and maintaining possession of the ball. Like, obviously running the more plays, blah, blah, blah. On one hand, it's like, oh boy. If you read into this, it's like, oh boy. You're back at it again, wanting to run the conservative offense. Mm-hmm. Then he mentions the well-balanced part of it, which we mentioned earlier already. We don't need to get into that. And then protecting the QB, that's pretty well obvious. You've invested in more into that as well. But maintaining possession of the ball and maintaining scoring pace. Those were the 2 biggest things that I took from that clip.
Yeah, they want to make the offense really good. They got to keep up with the good teams. It's a lot of competition in the AFC. It's not going to be easy.
Now, I also understand that, yes, you want to, yes, it would be... Well, I guess on one hand, it'd be like, yeah, great. If you could score 80-yard touchdown passes every drive, then it'd be like, oh, great. We can score just whatever the hell we want. Obviously, that's not the case. But yes, there are times where you want to control the ball. There's 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter and you're up 1 score and you have the ball, yes, you want to chew up as absolute much clock as you can. That's when we talked about earlier, the well-balanced, that's where, okay, if you can run the football effectively, that's when it becomes really important in part of having the well-balanced offense. When you need to throw the football, if you're in a 3rd and 4 situation and you want to throw the football, okay, that's fine. You have the ability to do that, or, just being able to run the football, chew up that clock. But I'm hoping. I'm really hoping that we're not going to see the same whole conservative offense bullshit.
And we got to be optimistic. I understand. I feel the same way. I'm like 70-80% worried that it's the same offense. I am very, very scared. Very. The offense is young. We got talent. Use it.
That's another thing that he mentioned in that clip was, and quote unquote, got to be able to find a way to use the eligibles.
Oh,
use the talent of the eligibles. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wonder how is that.
I'm looking at Matt Canada at you. I'm looking at you, buddy. You better be doing something different.
You got.
If we have a bad start, you're out the door already. I'm telling that right now.
Well, if he has a bad start, he's gonna have a bad middle and a bad ending. Because let's be honest, ain't no way in hell, unless they do it internally without us really knowing it. He's going to be here for the long haul for the year.
I know.
Which now, would I like for that to be the case? Obviously not. If he continues to have this baby back bullshit of an offense, well, then obviously, yes, I'd like to see his ass get canned about week 5. But we all know I have a better shot of having a 6-pack in 5 minutes than that happening. We all know how that's gonna go. All right, I have one more clip for us to listen to before we get on out of here, and it is Mike Tomlin. He was asked about calculated shots. Let's take a listen.
Kenny was asked a couple of those questions too, and he spoke to the importance of taking and cashing in on calculated shots. The calculated shots, like what goes into that calculus for you guys, and how much of it is actually about touch and feel as well, time and place in the game.
Yeah, you guys are digging in deep on day one, man. Hey, we want to be explosive. We want to get yards in chunks. And I guess that's what he's speaking to. But we also want to possess the ball and control the flow of the game. And so we got to do all things if we want to be a dominant group, and that's a component of it. We weren't explosive enough a year ago in terms of chunk plays, and so there's a focus there.
Okay. So Kenny Pickett got asked, or the reason why this question got brought up was because it got asked to Kenny Pickett earlier in that day, and it got asked to Mike Tomlin, and of course he says, the media's thinking of it too deep already. Well, welcome to camp. Media's in midseason form already. A couple things with that. They want to be explosive. Well, duh. I would hope that you would want to be explosive. Will you be explosive? We shall see. Getting yards and chunks. Something that we did not see a whole lot a year ago. Nope. We saw a lot of grinding for 3 yards. So, yes, like we mentioned earlier, you would like to see more of the intermediate portion of the field get used, and that would be an effective way to get some more chunk plays there, Mac Country up north. Mentions possessing the ball and controlling the flow of the game. Well, then it's like, okay, yes, you want to be able to control the ball at times, but you got to find a balance of, yes, you want to possess the ball somewhat to be able to allow, just your overall defense to, to get a little bit of rest, because if you're just scoring 80-yard touchdown pass every time, well, then your defense is going to continuously get gassed.
Yep.
But yeah, you do have to have some flow to the game. And then he does mention how they weren't explosive enough a year ago, and that needs to be a focus there. Well,
man,
you hope that you could take that little tiny clip. You were just hoping and praying to the God above that that's actually going to mean something.
Wow. There weren't enough explosive plays last year. I'm glad he noticed that. Because I sure did every week.
I'm pretty sure Halle Berry saw that. If we're going to be completely honest, I think Halle Berry saw there wasn't enough explosiveness. Oh, boy.
Pretty much what we talked about earlier is, this offense has to be dynamic. We need, like you talked about, intermediate plays, chunks, chunk plays. We can't do this 3-yard
and a cloud of dust
route, 3-route crossing route. Come on, Doug. Come on, please. I need something different.
I will interest you in one jet sweep.
No jet sweeps, please.
I
need jet sweeps to drastically decline than it was this past season. Just a little bit. We can still use them. I'm not saying don't stop using them.
Breaking news: Jared Sanchez wants the jet sweep to be abolished from the NFL.
No, just the prediction of we can see a jet sweep coming is terrible. If fans can see when a jet sweep is coming, how do you think the defense sees on the other team? Do you think they expect it? Oh, I hope so.
Oh, I see our mental health over the next however many months. We're back. We're back. What is that saying that the young kids like to say nowadays? We're so back.
When Claypool threw it to who was it? Was it the Gunner in the Philly game, or was that one just a toss? I think it was a toss. I don't know. I thought that was just
we'll call it a little throw, a little toss throw.
I need more. That's a great creative play, Canada. I need more of that.
I remember watching that play, and I'm sitting here like in utter shock. I'm like, did we just do something innovative? Did we just do something cool? What the hell is this? I ain't used to this.
But that one play, I don't think it was never brought up again.
Oh, no, it wasn't. It was not. But I think that is it for this 2023 debut NFL football Steelers officially back episode. if you guys made it through this far, thank you so much. Dealing with the technical difficulties, we were dealing with a little bit of a delay earlier with some lagginess, but obviously we're back. We were able to get everything re-going again, and we were all good to go for the second half part of it. So thank you so much for that. And until then, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe, stay cool. If you are if you're in one of those really, really, really hot territories, stay cool. Stay inside if you can. Have a tall boy on this Tall Boy Friday. I'm Jeff. That's Jared. Have a great weekend. Go Steelers. Peace out.
Vodka, whiskey, beer, tequila, more beer, more vodka, more whiskey, and more beer.